Hello everyone, welcome to Parallel Universe here on GDQ Hotfix. This is the Hotfix show where you can see all of your childhood favorites, but in new, different ways you might have not seen before. Before we get started, I just want to mention that you can join the official GDQ Discord and get the Hotfix Enjoyer role to see all of the Hotfix specific channels in the GDQ Discord. You can chat with showrunners and all the other people who enjoy Hotfix, and maybe even some runners who are in there. It's a great time in there. It's super chill. And one last thing, you can do !FF and also !Pack to see a couple of events that we have coming up here in just a little bit. But I really want to see the Spyro run. Wed, do you want to introduce yourself and also this fan game?
Hey, that's me. Hey, I'm Wed. I'm here today running Spyro 3.5, Return to the Forgotten Realms. Any No Sorceress Skip, which is our no major skips category for the run. And with me, I have Nitrof and JT. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Nitrofski. I'm also a run of a Spyro. I've done a few runs of 3.5 Return to the Forgotten Realm as well.
And I'm Jeremy, and I've been running Spyro for about 10 years and helped HWD 405 make this ROM hack.
Yeah, to mention a little bit more about myself, I too have been running this for a while, and I've been running Spyro for 10 years. I mean, all three of us have been really along the ride for the Spyro community for a long time. And are happy to be able to showcase a nice little fan game that we've been able to get work together within the last year. With that, are we all good to go here?
Yeah.
The countdown will be a little late, or if it doesn't matter too much, we could just start it right now. We usually do SDA timing.
Do
however
it.
You feel.
Do it however you want.
All right. Well, we'll just start it. We'll just start this. We'll get into the cutscenes, and I'll tell you when to start the round. We got, like 45, 50 seconds of cutscenes right now. First is why we tend to get it out. Usually it varies a lot with like load times and stuff, so we get rid of all that potential variance.
Yeah, PlayStation games and loading. Name a better duo.
Oh, it got worse and worse over the years.
It's very true. And HWD and I didn't change any of these cutscenes, so they're just all vanilla.
All right, so we're starting right about now.
Good luck.
Good luck.
All right, so I guess the first thing is to talk about the objective of the run. The category name is called Any No Sorceress Skip. Colloquially, I refer to it personally as 80 eggs because that's the actual required number of eggs that you need to get to open the sorceress door. And that's basically it. We'll be collecting eggs, the 80 fastest eggs we can think of while we're going through the game, and hopefully not making too much of a blunder at it. So, one thing you'll notice immediately, the levels look similar to the original game. This is basically a kind of first attempt of a mod for Spyro 3. So they weren't really the point where they could do a lot on the modification side. So what's going to be different here is mostly egg locations. As we go forward, you're going to see more and more differences from the original game, but it's always going to be like the original level with just different egg placement and sometimes twists and textures and soundtracks, etc.
Yeah, like Nitrof is mentioning, the fan game making side of the Spyro community is still kind of in its adolescence. Haven't gotten very far in terms of what we're able to do. This ROM hack, or this fan game rather, went a long way in terms of that. And originally HWD had made a randomizer, and that randomizer had different egg locations and had different text sometimes. And I played the randomizer and I messaged him and I was like, could we put some eggs here. It was going to be like a little pet project, and eventually it just snowballed into quite a lot more. 6 months of work and a lot of differences overall, especially as, like Nitrof mentioned, you get later into the game.
So I saw
as you can see, the locations were like not really the kind of locations that you'd see in a normal game. The point of this hack, as far as I can tell at least, was to just showcase as many speedrun tricks and other exploits and glitches as possible. So you'll see like various difficult egg locations that require specific obscure tricks, or like well-known tricks, but with like very impressive effects. In fact, coming up soon in this level, there's something that we call Gust Proxy that has been used in the past several times to just show how far, like showcase how far up you can go with the trick. As a kind of fun fact in this game, there's like other games in its generations, there are parallel universes, as they call it. In SM64, for example, the parallel universes are like mostly just collision. In this game, it's the opposite. The collisions are not there, but you can see the entire map appear again, way up in the sky, and it's just a fun challenge that some of us have tried in the past, to just get a gust proxy that get us so high up that we reach that parallel universe, and then it takes like minutes upon minutes to go back down. Fortunately, here we had to cut the gust proxy off for speedrun purposes.
If I let it go, I would have been falling for at least a minute.
Yeah.
Outside
You're
of
just collecting more eggs everywhere.
Outside the start there, it's going pretty well. That the death I had on that method was deliberate and very finicky.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of a quirk there, but to get that last egg, you normally have to defeat a specific Rhinoc somewhere in the level. But we found out that if you get a certain egg and then death abuse and respawn, the egg just becomes active for some reason. So that's been part of the route.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Like HWD and I, when we were working on concepts, occasionally there were hurdles that we didn't expect to encounter. Some of those are what we call Moby linking. So the Insomniac developers, the creators of Spyro, they called all of the objects Mobies. And when they wanted to create a Moby link, they would say, okay, to get this egg to activate, you need to kill this enemy first. And there wasn't a lot of flexibility in terms of what we were able to do conceptually with Moby links, but occasionally we could work with them and create something a little bit new. In this case, we just moved an enemy. We linked the same enemy, but we moved the enemy. We wanted originally to link all enemies that had those wings in the level. You had to kill them all. We tried, and after just killing one of any of the ones we linked, it would trigger the egg. And so we just kept it as the same one, but there are some weird interactions related to like difficulty and related to what you can do even in the vanilla game with that one. You can knock yourself out of an egg until a death abuse, things like that. And so those hurdles show up in a couple of ways with how things are implemented.
As you can see there, Wed got something that we call swim in air, and with that you can collect basically every egg in this area except for one very quickly. So we obviously make use of that. I suppose it's a good opportunity to mention this mod, when it was first released, was released with kind of a challenge, a race to the finish, and also extra hard challenges. And one of those extra hard challenges is collect every egg in that first homeworld, Sunrise Spring, without using proxies or swim in airs. And I have to say that was probably one of my favorite challenges to complete in this, because it actually required me to think outside of the box and find paths that I didn't know existed. And the platforming is really difficult, but very rewarding when you get to it.
I'll be honest, I never finished that challenge.
Some of the challenges were pretty brutal.
This one, the one in Sunrise Spring, I think is one of the more brutal ones, actually.
My favorite one, I think, was the Crystal Islands one. I really liked that one when I was wrapping it up.
I agree. That's also really fun. Anything that like got you to do some platforming without using the usual exploits that you do in this game. I mean, you'll be able to see we just go flying by using enemy corpses as springboards. Like those exploits, they're really useful for speedruns, but they also trivialize a bunch of things if you get good at them. Whereas the tight platforming is always a fun challenge.
Yeah. And Nitrof alluded to the reason why we ended up making the fan game as we did. And it really was like with any game that people do speedruns of, there's so much depth in terms of the strats that exist, but sometimes once the record gets fairly optimized, everyone's doing the same strats and it's all very similar strats. If you can get a proxy, you can get a lot of height in some way or get a swim in air, then you get to the end of the level and that's just what you're going to use. But there are so many other opportunities to do cool things in the game that aren't incentivized. And so the goal was to incentivize those so we could offer kind of a new experience to the players that have been playing the game for years and years, or even players that are just getting into the idea of speedrunning. And for those newer players, we added like Zoe text that would tell them how to do things like, this is how you proxy, this is how you swim in air, go try it. And it was very rewarding to see people that had never played Spyro 3 within the context of a speedrun pick up the ROM hack and learn how to do it, and then later on do speedruns of Spyro 3 vanilla.
Yeah, I think that's super cool having like
chat.
player expression and stuff, just because that is like one of my favorite things in like all of speedrunning like ever. I think it's so cool that this was made with that in mind.
Mm-hmm. I did see in chat someone mentioning the fact that the egg names are community members. Not all of them, but yes, all egg names have been, except for one, all egg names have been customized. Most of them are either community members or some of the developers from the original game.
My favorite community member.
But there are also
Larry's not a community member, by the way.
There are also a few other like I guess Easter egg in the egg names. There are, for example, 3 eggs in the game, 3 or 4, I think it's 3, that are hidden in chests, and their names are names of well-known magicians.
Copperfield.
Yeah.
There's that one level that's Aztec themed, and the names are Aztec deities, I think.
We got Future Ruins, where all of them are named after doctors from Doctor Who.
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of fun with the naming. We wanted obviously to include the community, because the community is, for Spyro, we're pretty tight. Like, there are a lot of friends, a lot of friend groups in the community, but we all love the game and we all care about each other, and in often cases known each other for like 10 years at this point or more. Nitrof's been around more than that. Yeah, obviously want to pay homage to the developers as well, and then have some fun. One that I thought was fun as well in Sunny Villa. There are 2 eggs in the game. They're usually in Sergeant Bird's base, but Insomniac named them Siegfried and Roy. Those are famous lion tamers. So HWD405 and I decided, I mean, why not put the lion tamers in Sunny Villa, because the NPCs are lions. So we kept a couple of names if we could put them in spots that were either funny to us or made sense.
That was a super risky decision, I feel like, for me going for that on No Lies.
It paid off.
So I just did a glitch there called Zombie, which was me dying during the offset frame between the game recognizing me as dead and actually killing me, which, along with me not being able to get any fodders or pause my game, it allows me to do this. Because the game does, because I'm considered dead to the game right now, it doesn't, like, take in any state changes. So, you saw me, like, kind of avoid and do some extra movement to get over some water before entering this level. That's because I would have gone straight through the water and wouldn't have been able to pause my game, and would have just been soft locked down there.
That Moxie egg, by the way, is the slowest egg, as we know, in the route right now, but there's nothing better.
Oh,
That cutscene right there puts me out of zombie because whenever like a black screen cutscene happens, the game does a check again to see if you're alive, and the game realizes, oh, you're alive, but you don't have sparks, so you're not zombied anymore.
You might also wonder, while you're watching this, like how the heck did these runners find the eggs in the first place? And one tool that HWD and I put in so that it wasn't just like blindly searching is in the real game there are atlas clues that you unlock when you collect one of the eggs. A new atlas clue emerges. So we changed all of those atlas clues to refer to what we thought was the most interesting way to collect the egg in question. And so some runners had an idea of where an egg might be, because you find a sick spot, you know, yeah, Jeremy and HWD probably put something there. But also there are clues in the atlas for the eggs specific to this fan game.
Also, as you might have noticed, we don't fight bosses in this. Those eggs, that egg that Wed just collected is actually meant to be hidden originally, and Jeremy and HWD actually put some kind of treasure hunt quests in there where you can find some hidden Zoes throughout the game that actually tells you where the next Zoe location is to eventually learn about these hidden eggs in all of the boss levels.
Hey, Spyro!
It was a very interesting touch.
It's the only category in any version of this game that we open that door with a rock. Fun fact.
I see
skip the whirlwind here.
See somebody saying, is this a mod because I don't remember Spyro being green? If you remember way back in the day, before Spyro was even released, if you didn't know, he was originally green. So,
to show that.
So yeah, this is actually just the purest Spyro game, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This came out before Insomniac released. They actually just, they took our mod, our fan game, and they were like, let's make a fan game. It's going to be Spyro 3.
I'm ready.
You guys didn't see anything weird with the head bash container, by the way? It did not do anything strange.
I saw it.
I trust you.
Yeah, the head bash containers, occasionally they're like slightly embedded in the scenery, and they freak out a little bit if
What's
you
that
touch
with
them in the wrong
that?
way. Yeah.
I actually figured out a strat at one point with super bonus around the secret last level in this game that has a different requirement actually in this fan game. So you can get there a lot earlier. I found a technique that allows you to skip into a later section that they walled off using a bunch of them by flaming the head bash containers, which changes the collision and allows you to just pass through them. Some really funky stuff with them. It always looks really goofy. Also, I was doing some very deliberate movement there to avoid a chance of locking you out of the end level egg. The rockets can just despawn on you because they were placed super far away from each other.
And your egg is in Enchanted Towers or Midnight Towers, isn't it, Wed?
It is. I'll probably come back to it to show it later.
Yeah.
It's very out of the way on like an initial go through the level, so I might as well just wait on it.
There were a couple eggs we put in, Wed's included, that we were like, okay, so we have this spot, and it's cool enough we need an egg there. But also, man, we're a little bit sorry that we're putting an egg there, because
They gave me one of the longest, most irritating eggs to get in the entire game. One of, not the most. It's definitely out there. See, it's
And
not.
meanwhile, I'm on the way on every category.
You are. You have to be gone.
There's no skipping me.
Actually, the hardest egg to get in the entire game is not actually named after a community member. In fact, named after a Doctor Who character.
Because it happens to be Future Ruins. When we were doing that blind find all the eggs race, I'm pretty sure that was the last egg for most of us. It was just so difficult, like to the point where most of us didn't even know that it was possible to get the tricks required, and it was just like trying to find the actual strategy that got us up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like save states were allowed for that race thing. I personally didn't use any save states until that very last egg because I couldn't otherwise.
I don't blame you on that one.
I think I finished third, and I was the one that did not use save states. I was like
even for that egg, you didn't?
Yeah.
Oh
I didn't use save states, right?
That's cool.
Every time I go back and I want to do it, it takes me an hour and a half of charge jumping that helmet.
There was a strat found for it that I didn't know about actually when we released. It's pretty good. It said proxy from the shark on the floor.
Proxy's so garbage. What was the method you originally intended for that? Was it the helmet jump?
Yeah, that's what I did to get it.
Do you actually have like a technique for it, or does it also take you forever?
It takes me forever.
Okay, cool.
That makes me feel so much better.
That's probably like so validating for you. It probably like feels amazing to be you right now.
Oh, absolutely. During GDQ, since Nitrof and I both went to GDQ, we were both actually sitting at a TV one of the first couple nights for a good hour, just going back and forth trying to get up to get that egg.
Not only that, at AGDQ earlier, we also did something that nobody in their right mind would do. We collected every single egg in here in alphabetical order as much as possible. And that egg was basically what made or broke the run. Like, whoever got that egg the fastest won, basically.
Yeah, I think I beat Nitrof by like 10, 15 minutes because I got that egg 15 minutes before him.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think anything is probably like beyond human comprehension, and like it's probably not that bad. And then you said what it was, I'm like, oh no, never mind. That's the one thing that it sounds painful.
It's it kind of cramps the hands trying to do it for a while because you are just sitting there doing the same jump with like no time whatsoever taken to reset it back up.
It's like there's also a sharp turn in it, and you just know instinctively if there's a sharp turn, you're going to press the buttons harder.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just manhandle my controllers whenever I'm speedrunning. I showed a picture to Blunt, who's another speedrunner, and he was like, oh my god, because my controller, like it is just like, it looks like it's been being eroded by the ocean for like at least 50 years, but I've only been using it for like a year and a half.
No backup crap. Gotta take the wall.
As for the question in the chat from Star, what's different in this mod? A lot of it is egg placement. Obviously, there's some coloration, some skybox differences, egg naming. There's some more intricate stuff with like Moby linking and some concepts in the levels that are a little bit different. But basically, if you just consider all the architecture of the levels remains the same, we can move the objects within the levels. We moved as much as we could to make it interesting for people that knew a lot about the game.
A lot of the gems are going to be in similar locations, but gems weren't the focus here. There's some gem requirements at some point, and Jeremy and HWD have added a few high-value gems, or moved some gems, or moved some containers for some extra challenge.
Yeah, and oftentimes, similar to Insomniac actually, we put gems in spots that would suggest where an egg might be. So the atlas clues were one thing that suggested where they might be. Also, if you see a gem up in a place where you're like, you know what, there wasn't a gem there back when I played when I was 6 years old, then it's probably because there's an egg there as well, or at least close. It's on the way.
Yeah, just get the rest of the eggs with swim.
Yeah. I got a fun fact for you two a couple days ago. I actually soft locked or got locked in the level, or like was forced to quit out on the level from Boulder Proxy yesterday.
Really? How so?
I got permaflopped going up from the boulder and landed between the two pandas on the way down.
I've never seen that. That's crazy.
I'd never seen it either. I got stuck there. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I don't think anyone has done this before.
This is another level where like there's that well-known swim in air that trivializes those 2 eggs that Red just got. But the extra challenge that Jeremy and HWD gave us was to actually get all of those eggs without swimming or without proxies. And again, like that was a really fun one to do. And another fun fact about that is there is another egg in a side area in the boat challenge that they didn't know you could do without proxies and swim in air, in that case proxy, that I eventually proved that was possible with the proxy, so I went ahead and beyond, and that was also fun.
That was cool to see too.
I did not know you actually did that one.
Yeah, there were a few different methods found. Like, I mean, I ended up testing, like I said, HWD and I made this over about 6 months, and I probably play tested for a couple hours at the very minimum, almost every single day. And we really wanted there to be multiple ways to get to every egg, first of all, because like Nitrof is saying, there are ways to trivialize a lot of the eggs. We wanted them to be accessible in ways that were more gymnastic. Yeah, there were definitely ways where I was seeing runners find an egg in a way that I was like, oh, you can find the egg that way? Well, that's cool, now I know that too. And I do think, like in general, obviously, my knowledge base expanded when runners had that, but I think the fan game in general kind of informed a lot of people about spots you could go or why things work or how things could work. Even just in
another
terms of
example of a level where swim in air trivializes everything.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's the only level in the game normally that has a swim state that you can't actually get a swim in air in. HWD and I thought, okay, let's lower the death plane, because that is the issue in the main game, is the death plane, as well as just in general how isolated before the water has moved, before the trigger has moved.
I should have let the audio play there. He's got some really funny lines in the fan game.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that was modified. They actually changed a lot of the text, and on top of that, either used some of the community members for voice acting or used AI-generated voices. And yeah, that was a fun experience also to just go through here, listen to what everyone had to say.
It's a very funny experience exiting Cloud Spires, and if you like kind of forget what you're doing and sit there, Hunter will run up to you and just scream at you.
Yeah. And I guess I should point out, so I've mentioned that HWD 405 and I worked on this, and for a long time it was pretty private. Not a lot of people knew about it. At the very end, when we were thinking, what else can we add? We brought some people in that we thought could add something like voice acting. So Mrs. Dr. Pepper and Jemp did voice acting for us, and we had Composer, who's a community member as well, make an original track for our Aztec-themed level, which is really cool too. Yeah, there's Nitrof. There you go. Unskippable.
That's why he's gotten in every run. Let's see if my luck is good here. Sometimes I get a laser to the butt, and that was very close.
The best is when you get zapped at the exact wrong time and then just can't get onto the whirly gig.
Yeah, if that was like any sooner, I wouldn't have been able to get on the whirly gig, and I would have had to exit level. Speaking of the Aztec level, that's where we're really nice.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Another one where there was a fun challenge about doing a proxyless, and now that proxyless strat is something that we use as a backup, because it turns out it's not that difficult and actually makes it viable to get all those eggs in a somewhat consistent time, even if you fail the proxies.
This level has probably had the most route changes throughout, like, the brief time that
The temple is on.
runs were really being worked on. There's more eggs kept being added as more stuff was being considered viable. That really stinks. Okay, well, I get to show off all of the other stuff instead of proxies, so that's cool.
See, I prefer that anyway. So you did it on purpose.
Yeah, I would really
for a little
prefer
bit of
if his
content.
range would...
Do you have enough extra lives? Because I know you were low earlier, so...
Still am pretty low. I think I have 1, so...
Right. Oh, you only need 1, so...
Yeah, this is the one where I think this is one of my 2 favorite levels conceptually. We knew that we wanted it to be more jungly, and so we did like the Ice Age of Frozen Altars. And there happens to be an egg in this level that has a dragon in sheep's clothing. And so we inserted the canon that there was, I forget what the name is now, but there's like an Aztec god of like frost, that he was supposed to receive a tribute of that sheep. And it was taken away. He couldn't find it, so he was mad, so he started to freeze over the level. Yeah, we had a lot of fun researching different Aztec like legends and gods, and really having a lot of fun with this one.
All right, a bit of an unfortunate mistake there, but it allows us to show this jump off one more time.
Yeah.
Jump, which used to be a lot more difficult until we found out that you could actually hover into that spot easier than the spot we were aiming for at first.
And shoutouts to ZBM for just like telling me that off rip one day, and I was like, wait, you can just do that? Yeah, both the wall proxies there? Crazy. I already got the one inside of the mirror room, right?
Yes.
You got me looking at my atlas. that route, or that level is also like, out of all the levels, probably the most subject to just changing egg order on the fly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of easy to forget.
What were each of your favorite levels to play casually in your first playthrough?
Oh.
I kind of like Spider Town, but I don't know if I would say it was my favorite. It's very unique. Bland Extra Life right there.
I can't immediately say which one was my favorite, period, but I can say which one was the most improved compared to the original game, and that's Lost Fleet.
Nice.
Well, that's because there's no subs and no skip.
We just skipped the 2 side areas, which was basically what no one likes about
Those
Lost
turn
Fleet.
117 runs of that level from 4-minute levels to 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those challenges are pretty rough. I've been trying to put subs in the 100 egg, and it's just so demotivating. The reason I haven't played 100 egg in like 7 months or 8 months, whatever it's been, is because I don't want to practice subs enough.
Ooh, I slightly flubbed up a turn. I now have lost 20 seconds
Looks like this.
because
Yeah.
the sub is all the way over there now.
Hey,
And that is like no exaggeration. For people who aren't familiar with the runs, like it literally can be like
if you see
just 10th of a second too long on a turn. Wow, okay. My run's dead.
Like, it's to the point where I think the community best segment is still like, you could still save 20 seconds or more on it just because subs exist. For 117 at least. I mean,
Yeah.
so the fact that those are gone now. And it has a pretty sweet route on top for the speedrun. If Wet is lucky enough not to get the bad frame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just in general for this level, this is, in terms of, like, execution and stuff that's going on for this level, I think this is one of the cooler levels of the run.
Be careful, right?
It all comes together, like, at once at the end, but has a gigantic if on it.
Also, I realize now, if you'd taken that death in the Frozen Altars, or whatever the new name is, you wouldn't have been able to do the death abuse here.
Yeah. That's why, or actually, I was really thinking about it, but it was a good thing I only tried Firefly one extra time then, because of that as well. The extra life that Firefly gave me allowed me to have one more chance.
Would you look?
But if I'm lucky, I land on a good cycle here.
There's a cycle there where the water rises up and down, and you just got to be on the right cycle to be able to get that swim in air. But as you see, it's not normal swim in air, it's swim in acid. And when you're underwater in acid, nice, you got it, and you lose invincibility, it's instant death, which we abuse here. I guess you didn't glide fast enough. That's unfortunate, but I mean, this jump isn't too bad. There you go. And yeah, just respawning up there makes it a lot faster to get this egg here, and then just collecting the rest of the eggs throughout the game, throughout the level.
If I didn't pause out of the egg on the right frame, I would have still been alive while swimming, and would have respawned swimming in acid still, and it would just be stuck up there in a permanent death loop until it
which would have game overed you right away. So I guess one thing that is worth mentioning is the egg requirement here for this run is actually low enough that we barely ever need to enter side areas. Like, a lot of the eggs were placed in like challenging places to get, but those challenging places are not slow to get, most of them. And we only enter, I think, one side area in this run, which is in Molten Crater, or Mad Monster Crater.
Yeah, we enter that one because there's 3 eggs in there.
Which is the only one that has that property. And there are 3 fast eggs on top.
You didn't see it there. There's indeed an egg there. From the right camera angles, it's there. There's a lot of just like too many particles at once issues going on here that cause the eggs to just kind of deload their textures at times. And it was actually worked in as a gimmick for one of the eggs.
We had so much of a headache with Evening Lake in particular, just because, like, no matter what we tried, whether it was extra draw distance, if we tried to do something different with the textures, nothing would make the eggs that we moved actually work properly visually. So it was an issue. So when Bianca comes down and talks, she says that the sorceress cast an invisibility spell, and that's just because we couldn't get them to not be invisible in most cases. And yeah, like Wed mentioned, there's a gimmick, because we thought it was a little bit funny that they were invisible. And the reactions were funny as well, where people would get to Evening Lake and they'd be like, okay, finally to Evening Lake, this fan game is so difficult. And then Bianca would say that, and they'd have no context yet as to how easy or difficult. They'd be like, oh, come on, invisible? And they'd be like mad about it. It was just really funny.
That's great. That's wonderful. That's exactly how I hoped that would go.
So I was going to mention, for the astute among you who didn't like, but now we get a chance to actually see it. Jeremy and HWD actually swapped the entry portals of 2 levels. Beekeepers, which is in the original game Honey Speedway, and Bentley's Outpost. I don't remember if that one has a different name, but they've been swapped in the hack, which is a nod to a common mistake that people are making. When both portals are locked, so I suppose worth mentioning. For context, when portals are locked in this game, they're actually still present on the map, just inaccessible, usually put directly under their original location, but under the map, so that you can't reach them. And Honey Speedway and Bentley's Outpost's portals are like so close to each other that it's very common for speedrunners, mostly beginner ones, to enter one on accident while you try to enter the other. And so they swapped those portals here, which actually led to pretty funny moments where people that are like usually pretty confident at entering those portals, the right portal went out of bounds, actually enter the other one on accident, and like realize like, well, they enter the one that they expect leads to the level that they're going for, but that leads them to the other level, and there's just like some confusion that arises from that.
I liked when working out through like all the routes and stuff, being able to just brazenly do the oob into Bentley's outpost wrong and still hit it because it got moved into the easier spot.
Yeah.
And then immediately after Bentley, you just charge back in the portal
you just hold square and go straight into the wrong level. Or immediately pay money bags.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
I think that screwed up a 150 to run for me or something at one point. Where like, I only get one of those, so. Then, they're only doing. I had to do the
Nice back up there.
Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely got some pranks in. Then there was one in Todd Spires where Moneybags tells you to do something, and then there's an invisible wall. And then the way that we put the egg in the extra area in Dino Mines, so that like if you go straight to the egg, you get loaded out of the side area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. We had fun with it.
This was
more fun watching it though.
This is always a goofy thing to me, doing this backwards since everything was laid out differently. The door just like opens on you and you clip straight through it.
Mm-hmm. And this is a level, there are probably 3 or 4 of them that I think that if HWD and I were to do like a revamp, re-release, anniversary, whatever, we'd probably change Charm Bridge a decent amount because it didn't really play the way we wanted it to. And like casually there was an issue, we could add text to help with that, but also just the layout of the level. 2 of the eggs are a little bit too close to each other. There is a better spot. I won't say where, but there is a better spot that we could have used that we didn't.
That was the tiniest proxy, but
that's all you
needed.
That's all you need. Shoutouts to Hypno Shark for being on the 1.0 spot. Or, that's not the 1.0 spot, that's...
It is a 1.0 spot?
Yeah. This game's, like, actual releases, like Spyro 3, had a couple of different versions. And the reason they released it, because there were some very game-breaking things that happened in the original release. That locked you out of eggs or locked you out of gems semi-permanently. The eggs would be permanent. But anyway, they made some smaller changes as well. And so in certain cases, like on version 1.0, the original release, there's a part of that goop or acid, whatever it is, in Charm Bridge that you can stand on, whereas in version 1.1 you can't. And so just a fun fact, and we thought might as well allude to that fun fact by putting an egg right there.
Pretty sure while practicing like wizard proxies around like the big pool, at one point I found another 1.0 spot just sitting in the middle of the lava.
Really? I don't know about that one actually.
I like accidentally hit it one time and I thought I was like tweaking. I thought I was going crazy.
I'm curious now. I'll have to look in any spots like that. I'm like, in terms of like the niche trivia for Spyro, where you can stand, where you can't stand, I love it. It's honestly so fun.
I'm pretty sure there's one sitting in the middle there. It's kind of a shame that we don't have like a good model viewer to be able to like really check it.
That's cool.
I have just a quick question, actually.
What's up?
Sure.
For anyone who's like new watching this, I'm asking for a friend. Is there any resources or anything that people could find to like learn like some of the more advanced like Spyro movement and stuff?
Yeah, we should have. Go.
I was going to say that there's a speedrunning Discord that we use, and everyone's super, like I mentioned before, the community is very tight-knit and also very helpful and kind. So if you come in and you say, could you help me learn this? First of all, we'll help you learn it. That's guaranteed. Also, in this fan game, there are a lot of tutorials on how to do different techniques, just kind of packaged in, where Zoe will tell you how to do something, explain exactly the inputs you might need. Or sometimes Bianca might say it instead. Beyond that, there are tutorials for normal speedruns that can apply to this fan game as well, because obviously the inspiration for it was the speedrunning community for Spyro 3. So all three of those resources, whether it's the game itself, whether it's the speedrunning Discord and the people inside, or tutorials online, which we can link you in the speedrunning Discord, all those are good resources.
Good to know. Yeah, like I said, asking for a friend.
Yeah.
We got the fun game up here coming up now.
Oh, right.
The impossible egg. Usually when people were casually playing the first time that they saw this egg, you go into the slide area, just see an egg just sitting there, on nothing, just way far away. Like, you know, a good like 200 feet away, flying like 50 feet up in the air, and you're like, how in the world do you get that? And yeah, it's just sitting there.
Well, I will say as well,
Yes.
there is a way to get the egg legitimately in that slide area. Well, kind of in the slide area. But then, yeah, if you pay money bags, sometimes he tells you secrets, and maybe some of those secrets tell you some backup eggs.
Got us a tool.
Fun fact about that spot, this is where you'd usually, in the normal game, in the any-person speedrun, you'd actually enter the sorceress from that spot and skip the egg requirement. And Tuval is the one who found that, so that is a nice location for that egg. And here we are on the 80 egg requirement. But I do think we have some other eggs we'd like to show off after we're done with the runs, so we're not going to be done quite yet.
Yeah. Done them like that, but
This is a pretty clean run overall, too. I'm impressed.
oh, a few hiccups early. It got a bit cleaner as time went on. That's how it usually goes, though.
Yeah.
Get out the
Seeing the
butterfly.
grass here always makes me laugh.
This is another in-joke one, actually, I feel like.
In 1.0, the soundtrack in this level is the Sunrise Spring theme. I'm not exactly sure why something was forgotten, something was missed before the release, because the soundtrack does exist on disc, it's just not playing. And so the textures here are not to that.
Yeah, they figured, you know, there's two different options here. You can either fix the music, or you can fix the level. So they decided to fix the level.
Yeah.
Like one hit. One hit or two hits?
2 hits. Oh, it was 1. Okay. Don't mind me.
I did not set that up right.
Yeah, you were a bit too close. Or maybe Agent 9 was not ready yet.
I don't think he was ready.
Probably both. Usually when you get a tank skip, or I guess, yeah, early tank skip like that, it's you need to wait a bit before you can get the UFO skip.
Time should be coming up pretty shortly.
One more hit. Time.
Yes.
GG.
Thank you. What's the time on that, actually? Don't mind me asking. Take it. Yeah, I could sit through the cutscenes there. They're unmodified. Since we got a bit more time, let's show off a few more things.
Yeah, I think we can start with Dino Mines, or whatever it's been called.
Dry Gulch.
Dry Gulch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some of these eggs that you don't do in the run.
Thank you for the GGs, by the way.
This
everyone.
This one that we want to show is actually in an unused area from the original game.
I'm going wrong way for the jump. I have not done this in a bit, because I haven't had to enter this level in a while. So bear with me as I try to remember how to do Axel Proxy. Yes, I know I used the wrong side.
It's like
There's a
riding
wrong
bike.
side.
Oh yeah, it's contentious in the community which side is correct.
Goes when there's a coin flip for something. Some people prefer the left side, some people prefer the right.
All right, so what is going to be doing here is getting zapped as he's swimming. Yeah, you just need to like swim against it and press square.
Yeah,
Get zapped as you do that.
I was not thinking right. It's been a bit. Yeah, I'm trying to get zapped by Zoe. Trying to get the swim here. So what that does is it puts me, when I respawn, I'm above the water. But since I was in swim state when I got zapped, now I'm still in swim state. That can allow me to, you know, show off a couple of things. Like, I'll show like one egg here. Oh wow, there's an egg under the bridge. That's crazy. Or
The chimney.
nah.
No, you don't want to do that one. All right.
Chimney. What we'll do though is there's this little spot over here that this
That is
exists on all copies of Spyro. Like, even the original copies of Spyro 3, this is here. The side area always exists. It is always empty like this, except it does not usually happen. He gets put in the loneliest spot in the entire game.
And then in the middle of that area, there's the portal back,
There it is.
which is what Jeremy was referring to earlier. They put the egg right across from you, where like if you just see the egg, you're going to run straight for it, and obviously you're going to hit that and be shut out, and you'll have to come back, try again later, and then like everyone would just do the widest circle they can to make sure they dodge it.
I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to show off Honey Speedway now.
Honey Speedway, right?
I was thinking which speedway I wanted to show off because I wanted to show off one of them because all of them have been pretty heavily modified. So, yeah, this was the one I decided. The auto scroller dino shooter on the stage used to irk the heck out of you. Well, this version actually does not have it. Instead,
Nice.
you got just some general movement with some eggs put in some really weird locations. Actually, Nitrof, you taught me a different method to get one of the eggs in that Agent 9 area that I didn't know of.
Oh yeah, the intended way.
Yeah, I didn't know the intended way.
The barrel rocket.
I knew a different
Thanks.
barrel rocket that didn't send you as high. Oh yeah. So let's start out here. So yeah, we just go right in. Which challenge do you like to play? You might happen to notice that there's no time attack. We only have Race the Bumblebees. So this is a case with all of these. One of the options was generally removed. Two of them, I believe, or no, I think this is the only one that was the race that's only in it. Does that sound correct, Jeremy?
Yes.
Yeah.
And pretty much for all of them, it really doesn't matter. Or the last two, it doesn't matter. The first two have a time trial that you can get an egg from, but all the rest of the challenges just have eggs sitting out in the open.
Yeah, so you can start the race, you can complete the race normally, but if you look around, you can actually find the egg that the race would give you and collect it yourself and not have to run the race.
Yeah, with the speedways, HWD and I really wanted to change them quite a lot conceptually. There were constraints, which is why Sparks has to like venture over to you. You have to be localized to him, and sometimes the spawns are a little bit strange. But we wanted, because I think the issue with the speedways in Spyro 3 is that there are 3 challenges. They're very long, and it's not the best payoff. So we wanted everything to be collected in one like mini game, basically, and also be interesting to collect. I think my favorite of the speedways is the country speedway. I really like that one because there's like a vanilla out of bounds that a lot of people knew about that we use.
I was thinking about showing off that one, but I admittedly don't remember the route that I used for it, so I just kind of opted for this one instead.
Yeah, and I like
don't
this.
do that egg because you just get counted off course.
Actually, I was surprised by that because I remember now we put it there specifically so that you would go off course unless you collected a second ring. I think like we play tested it, we were like, this one's a little bit too easy. We need to get people off course sometimes. So we put it in a spot that would throw them off course if they didn't get a specific ring.
Yeah, if I was aware there, I would have just gone straight into Bentley's outpost and would have been annoyed with myself.
Frozen Altars.
Frozen Altars, yeah. Let's show off the one there that would have been kind of inconvenient otherwise. There's one in the Bentley challenge, which is boxing. Except we're not doing boxing this time. Boxing does not exist in this world. In this realm.
We're all pacifists in this realm. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And either way, the door wouldn't have been open, so it would have just been an inconvenience to get over here in the first place. Or to get out and stuff. So yeah, we're Spyro in here, and usually we're not Spyro in here. We got a guy here who has a strange hitbox property, since Spyro isn't usually supposed to be in here. I can just kind of get stuck in him. He doesn't really care if my hitbox is mixed in. He'll just kind of let me exist. Which also means that I can get like super deep into the hitbox and do stuff like if I can actually hit the hole.
Superman.
We're in, oh, would you look at that? Oh, it's a building. And there's an egg in here. You can also go under the map to get that, but I thought it would be cooler to show off the weird interactions with the Yeti hitbox.
I agree. And actually, I didn't know about the under the map thing when we released either. That's something I learned.
That's another example of a level that was the challenge that was set was do it without proxies, and that egg was not taken into consideration for that challenge. But you know, it being possible, we just decided. Well, I personally decided when I made my submission, I'm just going to get that egg on top because I can also get it without proxies.
I'm going back in here for an egg that I'm sure Nitrof is considering ill-advised of me to go back for.
If I am to believe what Wed told me, this should take at most like 30 seconds to get. But if I had the controller, it could take anywhere between 30 seconds and 7 minutes.
Well, if I can even get there, I can't seem to spin jump anymore now since the timer's not running. Okay. I definitely did not need to do this move. I don't know why I did, but fine. Oh yeah, there. JT, there's the 1.0 spot down there. Just that right up here.
Yeah, I'll test it out tonight.
Alright, so a few things have actually been changed in this challenge. Usually it's, you know, like a big mushroom puzzle. You got Jack right here, and he gives you a couple mushrooms, and you go on your merry way. He's, as you can see, nowhere to be found, which means that we are already on quite a restriction when it comes to any way to get height in this area. So I'm going to start off by failing this jump. See if I can get this.
Nice.
Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me right now?
So now we get to see the jump and the proxy, which is good. You're learning more.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Promise I can do it. Okay, I gotta do some scenery jumps there to get that. Yeah. So now we're stuck up here with a flower. And For those of you that have played this, you know, the flower doesn't really give you much extra height. We need to get up there to get that mushroom. And, we don't really have the height for that. So, if this goes right, it doesn't take too long. I have like a pseudo setup for this.
My God.
And yeah, you just proxy off of that. I am flabbergasted that that was first try. And nice shot. You definitely sound like you want to.
That's so cool.
That is way harder than I made that look. I'm also making that spin jump look way harder than it initially was. Alright, there's no mushroom things here. I need this for the little height it actually gives me. I should have started doing it later. When I was at GDQ, I ended up sending a Nitrofski picture when I was trying to mess with this, and I actually got just the right height that I embedded inside of the flower. So that's usually what happens when you glide or hover into something and you're at the exact same height as the floor. And I just got stuck in the flower. Luckily, when you glide out, it just proxies you out. Anyway, so that was nice. And that was way faster than I ever would have hoped that to go.
First try is like, if you told me, I wouldn't have believed you. I saw it, so.
Look, you just stand on the yellow flower there, and then you just BS a timing to glide. And that's all you do. I just do it by feel.
How about Fireworks Factory, the hidden room thing?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that's normally in the original game that is unused, completely inaccessible unless you use exploits that Jeremy and HWD put an egg in. So just testing your knowledge of the game, I suppose.
Yeah,
this one.
I feel like this one's for speedrunners. When you come in, a lot of people coming in that have done or like are interested in speedrunning the game usually have a little bit of extra game knowledge, and that's all that tends to be required to know about this spot.
Oh my God!
Me? What is happening? That should have taken way longer.
That's another thing that usually takes like between 30 seconds and 2 minutes. And
yeah,
first try again.
Yeah, there was supposed to, I don't know if there was actually supposed to be a breakable wall here.
There was, yeah.
I mean,
they just eventually removed it.
You probably got word from the big men themselves.
I did, yeah. They said that there was supposed to be a breakable wall.
Yeah, for anyone
instead,
that doesn't reference,
what you can find in the original game instead here is an extra life.
Yeah,
right.
There's an extra life here. Just sitting right there in a nice feed there. Jeremy ended up learning that from a showcase that he did at Insomniac a few years ago of Spyro 3 80%. It's a great run, and I highly recommend finding it if it's still up.
I believe it's still up.
At this moment, I can only think of one more egg that we said we wanted to show off.
Did say I get me.
Oh, we gotta do it.
I didn't get you, did I, JT?
No.
I do not remember where you are off the top of my head. I want to say you're in the last hub, though.
I think I'm in Spooky Swamp. Oh, I'm just beat the boss in Spooky Swamp.
Oh. That's a little boring then.
How dare you?
I mean, I could.
Go
No,
for
you
it.
have to. If anyone wants to see just a Sleepyhead get beaten the exact same way he gets beaten.
No, I could do it with the other egg, which usually has to do other strats.
Yeah, that's actually the other egg's kind of a joke. For those who know me, I like Scooby-Doo, and I like Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island specifically. It's an animated one from 1998. And so that egg is called Moonscar because if you get it in Zombie, and Moonscar in Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is a zombie. If you get it in Zombie, then you are screwed because you can't get out. So that was just a little a joke that I put in because I like Scooby. That's why Scooby and Shaggy are eggs in that level as well.
I actually didn't mean to put farther on the button, but okay.
In normal speedruns, we skip Farley altogether, but for this egg, we actually need them.
And we just completely ignore Farley, and luckily for us, Farley ignores the laws of physics and goes through walls, so everything.
You actually caught a glimpse of that egg just now. Right now, though, we need to lure Farley back a little bit.
I'm gonna play some fetch for a bit.
He just wants attention. That's all we were trying to give him in this fan game.
We put him in some spot a couple weeks ago. Here, this might be a good spot for it. You can actually get him to permanently just throw the ball into the void because it has a lower height than this platform, so I'll just throw it through the platform and down into the floor. He's just stuck.
You can see the egg above the doorway there.
So that's our goal right now. I swear, if this also is first try.
It's time to go buy a lottery ticket if it is.
I
believe.
Set that is if I know what I'm doing. I'll also just eat the ball again.
That looks good.
I guess it's time to get a lottery ticket.
Yeah, congrats on the win. Yeah.
Goat.
Because that's what happens when no timer is running.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it just spawns you out here on the opposite side of the map, right next to a rocket.
Yeah.
Let's go get JT, and then we can call this one.
Sure. The final boss of the game is Sleepyhead. Confirmed.
I did set my save file to Sleepyhead, so
there you go. Yeah, it all makes sense. A full circle now.
Yep. I don't know why the approach from Enchanted to get that rock jump is just always been an issue for me.
It never works.
Yeah.
It's just slightly too close.
That's amazing that you got all of those first try.
I couldn't have picked going the way it did. Oh, is this?
Oh, now you gotta go out of bounds.
Oh, well. Go around this way and do it without penalty. Unless. Oh, we're good. Alright, so I'm going to do something fairly ill-advised, which is immediately charge jumping into Sleepyhead here, which doesn't bring up the HUD for the health bar, and it also gives you regular free cam, which makes getting the bombs a massive pain, but it makes getting the proxy a lot easier.
Nice.
It always takes me forever to get this proxy, man.
Right, now we get to do this with no health. I get to free aim all of these bombs with no health. That is why this is an issue. I promise you, it is not easy to hit these with free cam.
Okay, there's one. It's 4 hits, by the way.
Awesome. Fun memes.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh, rare 5
That's a rare one.
Some people go years in their life at, like,
The first time I saw that attack was while playing this hack.
The first time I ever saw it was a couple of years after I started speedrunning.
Yeah, it took me like 5 or 6 years after speedrunning, and I was surprised. Somebody told me, I think it was Nerf who told me. He was like, "This is an attack that happens." I was like, "No, it's not." But yeah, it was.
Are you not going to talk about how
GG.
you were like, yeah, this is not easy, and then you just did it perfectly?
Yeah, all the stuff that I should have just said, like, preface. I should have prefaced the entire run with that, and then I probably would have just done world record.
Yeah, this glitch showcase has been pretty amazing.
It went
Yeah.
so much better than even the run. The run went pretty well.
But yeah,
That was awesome.
that was great. Thank you so much for showing stuff off and doing that run.
No,
That
I'm
was
sure
fantastic.
Wed-
It was my pleasure.
I'm sure Wed would like to show off that future ruins egg as much as I do, but we don't have time for this. It would take forever. To
I
get.
mean, at this rate, it might be first try.
Yeah, y'all can give shout outs, and honestly, while you're doing that, you can give it the good old college try if you want.
I'll make my way over there, I guess.
But yeah, where can everyone find y'all, and also where can they find this fan game?
Yes, of course. So, as it says up there, I'm a Wet SR. I do some PlayStation speedrunning from time to time, mostly Spyro. I've done some Jack, I've done Ratchet, some Crash in the past, and I've done a little bit more branching out over the last few months. Some people might know that I did some Animal Well recently as well. So if you like all that stuff, as well as like just some occasional casual gaming, feel free to drop a follow over on my channel in Wet SR. You guys want to continue? You know, some.
All right. I'm Nitrofski. I mean, I also run this, well, the original game here, 117 mostly. I have run this mod before. I definitely want to do more runs in the future. I think the run is amazing. I love what Jeremy and HWD have done with this. It's just challenging version of 100 Egg, and it's just great. You can find me on Twitch, of course, twitch.tv/Nitrofski. I'm going to be, if you ever see me stream, which is unlikely at this rate because I haven't streamed in, what, a year and a half. Not because I don't want to come back, but yeah. So eventually I'll come back, but it might take a while. Anyway, I will be running more Spyro and also Crash. I'm still thinking about focusing on the Sprashfecta, which is the Spyro and Crash original trilogies 100% back-to-back. And yeah, I also have a Discord server and everything, which is also inactive because I'm not streaming, strangely.
I'm
See you,
Jeremy. Yeah. If you want to follow me on Twitch, it's JeremyThompson, just my name. But like Nitrof, I haven't streamed in quite a while. I would recommend following HWD405's YouTube. He's very active. He posts a lot of like prototype stuff as well as this, and it's honestly, if you're interested in Spyro, you'll be interested in his YouTube. And he was the mastermind behind all of the programming of this fan game. Like, I obviously helped with all the conceptual stuff, but it would not have been possible, or even remotely close to possible, without his hard work as well. So HWD405, in terms of if you want to find this fan game, am I allowed to link something in chat? It's on his Twitter.
You can put it in the show chat, and I can just pop the link in chat.
Sure, I'll do
Isn't
that.
it also in the Spyro Discord?
They stopped posting stuff on Discord at a certain point, so he switched the links to archive.org instead.
Makes sense.
I figured we'd at least have like links to it on there.
Yeah, I'll pin them later today. Is there, what's the chat you want me to post this in?
Just the Parallel Universe chat here in Discord.
Oh, I see. Cool.
Yeah, so meanwhile there, Wed's been attempting that on that jump. It's as bad as it looks, honestly. And it's only the first of a series of few jumps. Thankfully, it's also the most difficult. Yeah. Once you get this one, if you have like a little bit of practice in you, you should be able to get the rest consistent. But this one in itself can take like a long time to get. Oh, that was pretty close. And there's also the alternative strategy, which Jeremy talked about earlier, that he didn't realize it was possible, which is that shark that just passed in front of Wed. Well, it does a cycle through the map and comes back on the same path periodically, and you can actually squeeze yourself between that shark's fin and the ground and just proxy up from that. It's even possible with that to go all the way straight to the egg that we're trying to get. It might not be obvious exactly what we're trying to get. It's at the top of that structure behind Wed.
It's way up there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that looks awful. Okay.
It's not too bad
It's
to
not
platform
as bad
too,
as you
because actually our target for platforming is to get into this room, and then use that water surface there to actually gain swim, and then you can swim to the egg. The water surface, unfortunately, is just slightly too far. I'm saying unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure that Jeremy just had it being lifted just far enough that it wouldn't be possible to head bash into it.
It's exactly what happened, yeah.
Because otherwise this egg would have been trivial.
It's actually one of the only two, we made 2 architecture changes in the entire run. It was this, and then we tried to make it so that you had to get Zombie to collect the egg in the fountain in Sunny Villa. We failed at that, but we tried.
You did indeed fail at that. Also, I would be remiss to mention, if any of you guys are interested in like learning about speedrunning, getting into like any of like learning strats or just like talking in general with the community, I would recommend checking out the Spyro Discord. We have links on speedrun.com. That should be pretty easy and accessible to be able to find. Everyone's super welcoming there. I definitely recommend checking it out if you're interested.
Yeah, before we end for the night, I just want to mention that GDQ's all-woman and femme speedrunning event, Flame Fatalis, is going to be on August 18th through the August 25th. You can use !FF in Twitch chat to see the schedule for that event, and you can also do !PAX to see the schedule for PAX West, which is going to be all through Labor Day weekend. The schedule for that just came out. It's a bigger IMO. But you can do !PAX to see that schedule. And I know all y'all are GDQ Hotfix viewers, but if you want to see the schedule for anything that's upcoming, you can go to GamesDoneQuick.com/Hotfix to see that schedule. Yeah, unfortunately, this looks like it sucks, and I hate to cut you off.
Oh no,
you're like Cinderella moment.
It's fine.
It is actually going to be perfect to just cut us off while he's still trying. That's the experience we're expecting here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually accurate to the usual experience where you just give up and turn off the game.
That's so fair. But yeah, right after we go off, there's going to be a small break. We're going to be doing reruns for all the shows that happened today. This show, Parallel Universe, and Do All the Things, !DATT. Those are going to be rerunning, and then, yeah, y'all can watch that back if you missed anything that happened today. But thank you everyone so much for watching GDQ Hotfix today. Again, we're live almost every single day, so if you want to support us, consider dropping some subs, some primes, some bits, gift subs, all of that good stuff. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Good night.